Let's keep the Kanye train rolling. All week I've been talking about the artist currently known as Ye and his album Bully. I've been going really into depth about Baudrillard and Star Wars and James Brown and Picasso and all these things. But today, let's have a little fun with it, shall we? Let's just talk about the music video to the song Father because I'm curious. Does it actually relate to the themes that I've been talking to in the album? So just a quick update or a quick reminder. I've been trying to figure out whether or not this album Bully is a simulacrum, which is a term created by a guy named Jean Baudrillard, or properly defined by him, in which something fails to represent something. So it's a signifier, something that represents something, but what it is signifying isn't real. And that was the fear that I had with the album, and the feeling that I had from it at times, that it was trying to represent Kanye-ness, trying to represent old Kanye or new Kanye or certain genres or certain feelings, but that underneath there wasn't the soul, the spirit, the cultural impact, that it essentially was all surface and no depth. So that was my question about the album Bully. And when I saw the video for Father, I only watched 5 seconds of it because I said, oh, that's AI. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not interested. I don't need to watch an AI video. There's no reason to. But then I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of comments from people saying it was a real video, and I started to see photos of behind the scenes footage. So I'm trying to figure out, how is something so clearly AI and therefore representing a simulacrum, because AI is a perfect simulacrum, because it's computers recreating the way things look without anybody actually creating it. It is creation without creation, right? That's what AI is. That's what generative AI is, creations without a creator, which is what? Like, what is that, right? But is it? Is this work by Bianca Censori, his wife? Is it actually something more? Could it be more? I don't know. Let's watch it together. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to have the sound on because I'm not about to split my revenue with Kanye right now. No, thank you. I've given you enough money over the years, Mr. West. I support the stem player, okay? Thankfully, my wife did stop me from buying Yeezy Gap gear. She's like, Skye, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that dude in his 40s rocking the Yeezy Gap Dove. But okay, that's fine. Before I get started on the video, you might be worried about me because you see I have a grievous wound there. I was bullied, much like Japanese wrestlers. I was bullied by my 1-year-old. She was climbing on top of me, and then she fell forward, and she let her their teeth, and she hit me right in the forehead. So that's why I'm rocking a little head wound there. No plastic mallets, but there we go. So let's get into it here. Smash the like button if you like, subscribe, AVAA. I appreciate you all. Nobody asked any questions about the door back there, so thank you. I really appreciate that because there's nothing to talk about, nothing to say, and literally nobody, go check. No one said anything about it. So let's get to this video. Okay, let's just watch it, and we're going to watch it with the sound off, and we're going to see, how is it? Okay. Ooh, what does Skye have on his sidebar? So what do I have there? I'm going to have to put on my glasses to see what you see about me. Rob Markman, shout out Rob Markman. That Dope Shift, shout out to Nugs. Yeah, Supergirl trailer, I guess I care about that. Knox Hill, I don't watch him that much. I don't know what that on-site thing is. Okay. So, let's go. Are you ready? Right off the bat, it looks like AI. How this has that uncanny feeling of AI. People appear to be oddly lifeless. Do they not? Does this not look like AI to you? But we're just going to take a second here at this image. All right, so it's a church. Okay, good. It appears as though it could be a wedding of some kind because there appears to be somebody on the left here who has some kind of bouquet. We have a choir here. I guess those do look like real people. We have someone in the back who's blue. There's a mysterious addition of color where everything else isn't. I'm going to be taking this very seriously, by the way. I'm going to be treating this seriously as though it's made by a very serious artist, even though I don't know if Bianca Censori is a very serious artist or not. I'm not going to assume she is or assume that she isn't. We have this young couple down here. We have a mother and a son. I assume that is supposed to represent Kanye and his mother. I assume that's what it is. And then, oh, wait, what is that? Is that Michael Jackson and Kanye? Oh. Well, then this is a great video. I'm sorry, Bianca, I didn't understand. There's no better comparison. I was sitting there going back and forth trying to compare Kanye to Picasso and trying to compare Kanye to James Brown, but maybe Michael Jackson's the perfect one. Because like the dialectical need to recognize that somebody is great and a flawed person, the cognitive dissonance you feel listening to Michael Jackson. Now listen, maybe you don't believe he did anything wrong. In that case, I understand. I'm not trying to change your mind on that. I think he did. I think even if he only did the things that he admitted to, he did wrong. It's not okay to sleep in a bed with a kid. It's just not okay. I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm not saying you should go to jail or whatever, but that in and of itself is a sign. But this isn't here to do that. Because, like, what do you do with Michael Jackson? He made some of the greatest music that's ever been made. He made, like, a lot of really good music for his entire life. And he changed art so many times in so many ways, and yet he is so divisive and makes people feel that kind of confusion, right? So hey, right there, that's perfect. I love this. I love this video already for that comparison, because it really is it. And if we were, listen, we're lucky that Kanye West is still alive. He still has hope. As long as there's breath, there's hope. And he's apparently trying to change, or maybe he is, or maybe he isn't. Who knows? We're not in his head. But as long as he's alive, there's a chance. And had Kanye died in 2016, we would be talking about him the way we talk about Michael Jackson. Absolutely. I mean, arguably, he's more influential than Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't even think that Kanye would say that, but I would say that is an argument to be had. They're in the same, it's like the Michael Jordan LeBron thing. It's like, it's a totally valid argument to have, even if it seems impossible, Of course, Bill Russell was the best, but that doesn't matter. All right, so now that we've analyzed the opening tableau, let's see how it goes on from here. And again, I'm not sharing the sound. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, their movement, I guess, does feel real. And then we have the censor coming in, sort of a more proper church. So we have the censor coming in. So it feels like it might be more of a Catholic mass. I don't know. I don't even know what denomination Kanye is. He's probably a Kanyetarian, a Westitarian, a Westafarian. I got it. He's a Westafarian. So that's interesting. Then we have this window that provides. Now, in the behind the scenes photo that I saw, it was a green screen. So I guess that's someone carrying a crucifix. So this is like a cross without a crucifix. Is he comparing himself to Jesus as someone who is persecuted? Why is it that the only person who's like really looking very carefully at us, the only person who's staring at us is actually the Michael Jackson character? That's actually pretty interesting. He's the only one, because what you have to do is you have to understand that every frame is a picture, right? That's how you watch movies. Every frame is a picture. Every frame is a painting. You have to understand every single thing here is a choice. Every single thing is a choice that Madame Censori decided to do. And having Michael Jackson being the one staring at us while everyone else is looking away helps me to actually think this is a good piece of art. Because I thought it was just because it was AI, because everything seems to be going in like 8 to 10 second spurts, and that's how AI works, right? But having him just stare so steadfastly at you is very unsettling. The whole thing is unsettling. This isn't unsettling. This is super unsettling. All right, then we have someone doing a card trick down here. Okay, we have the sleeping nun and the awake nun. Again, this does feel sort of very Catholic. Seriously, what is that thing back there? We have this, this is, I'm not, shout out to Lil Bill. He did a really good video on Bully. He talks about how he doesn't care about most singers because he grew up in a church, and in order to sing in a black church, you have to really know how to sing in ways that even most pop singers can't. It's a very interesting thing. So often black churches are associated with ebullience, a presence of great joy, and perhaps seen from outsiders as excessive joy. Catholic Mass or Episcopal services like those that I went to and that my father used to officiate, because my father was an Episcopal minister, or not. Listen, we cut loose a little bit, when we get to that song, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Man, I tell you, I belt that I get out there, but still, it's not quite the same thing. So this is an interesting thing because it's like an all black church, but then everything feels very Catholic and feels very stilted. And so we kind of have this weird mixture of of a space that's supposed to be joyful and is not. Okay, and a police car. Police car arrives at the same time as a knight. A knight represents what? The medieval ages, represents feudalism, represents strength and power and nobility, but it also implies like a certain relationship to power, because knights are always subject to power. They're not actually that powerful. They just serve someone else who's more powerful than them. So I don't know, is the police officer actually a knight? Is that what they're going for here? Let's see. All right, so we have the censor coming up there. Oh, is he actually the minister? Okay. So he's going to bless the knight. Now that was AI. There's no way that wasn't AI. So just everyone get out of here with this is not AI. Look at what this horse does here. That is AI. And I'm not saying that makes it not good art, because they're still doing interesting stuff here. But whatever's going on here, it is a mixture of AI and not AI, because it feels that way. And that's just the only way you can know. Look at that motion. That is no horse makes that motion, and no computer graphic artists would do something that stilted and that janky. They wouldn't do it janky in that way. That is just watch the shoulder of the knight right there. Watch the shoulder. There's just nothing about that that's authentic. So what is it then? I guess it's a mixture. It's a composite. Now, all of a sudden, I wasn't even paying attention to what's going on over here. I have to go back over here. What's happening to this guy over here? He's got his book, and his book's on fire, and he's looking at it. And then we have the police officer showing up. I don't know what it means that both police officers are black. I suppose that's interesting, because I guess it's not going for a specific political message that it would be going for. Would it be that it was actually like the, if it were like white police officers and okay, still moving on. Michael is still just staring right at us. We're looking around here. I will say this. There is something really cool about this video, that it is keeping you scanning. So because it's a one shot, okay, it's a fake one shot. A one shot is where you have something unedited, but because it's compositing AI imagery with computer generated imagery with real imagery, right? That's what gives it that Here we go. Grad school time. The term is unheimlich. It was described by, I think it was Freud. I think it was Freud who actually came up with it to describe, or was used to describe a lot of stories that would happen, like Edgar Allan Poe would write stories like this, or E.T.A. Hoffman would write stories where things feel a little bit off. Unheimlich means unhomelike. So it's like you're in your home, but it doesn't feel like your home. Someone left a comment saying that I need to stop making the jokes about the door back there. That's actually an intentional thing that I do to make my setting unhomelike. Because that's a tall, thin door and there's nothing behind it that's scary or weird and you shouldn't comment on it. But the fact that I keep commenting on it, and the fact that it is a little too tall for the perspective that it is right here, gives it that unheimlich feeling. And there's something about that which is engaging and is interesting. So Bianca Censori is doing a great job of using, because all AI is unheimlich, all of it. Even the best AI, it gives you that feeling, the sickness. It's a simulacra sickness. You feel it in your heart. You know it's not real. I don't know how we know, but we know. But then also, it's intentionally unheimlich, unhomelike. The term that we use is uncanny, but I don't like that as much as unhomelike, because imagine going home and it not feeling like your home, but it is your home. And it's filled with these tall, thin doors. Man. Whoever it was that complained about that, you really got under my skin. Let's keep going. Okay, so they take out the sleep. Wait, was that the sleeping nun or was that the non-sleeping nun? Who was arrested? Okay, so they are arresting the sleeping nun. So I guess that's maybe a representation that you're not supposed to sleep in the church. I don't know. They're still dancing over here. I will say it does seem like they are on beat, more or less, dancing. Another thing that happens, another thing that they're doing here that's interesting is they're using this fixed image, and they have the arch in the back. and each person, each thing that arrives is paired with something behind. So there's this kind of inside-outside game going on here, which is, engaging, because like you can't, because you have to keep scanning the whole thing. You have to watch it multiple times or keep rewinding it, because you can't see everything that's happening all at once, because two things are drawing your attention at once. It's sort of breaking a cardinal rule of filmmaking, which is like, don't divide the attention of the people. Allow people to have that. Okay, so who shows up here? This is some kind of sexy lady wearing a sash that says 40 on it. She's being picked up by a man. Okay, now what was going on in the back here? I wasn't even paying attention. I was too busy looking at the pretty lady. Okay, so we have a couple of astronauts who are pointing up, looking out at the sky. We have the pretty lady who's wearing a thing that says, does that say 40? So is that like in reference to age? Now the knight has re-arrived, and he's now sitting down. He's taking place. She's kissing hello. So she appears to be maybe Miss 40. Like, okay, all right, now, one second. Okay, so is this the husband and the is this the groom and the bride? Is that what this is? And then we have someone popping up in a wrestler mask, tying into the rest of Bully, who apparently was there the whole time, just hiding. Okay, maybe. And then runs away. By the way, I have no idea if I have any. I don't know if I have anything interesting to say. This is my first time watching the video. I'm still just focused on the fact that there's still only been one person looking at us the whole time, and that's Michael Jackson. I did look up that it's a Michael Jackson impersonator, so that's not an AI Michael Jackson, even though it looks like an AI Michael Jackson. Okay, so maybe that wasn't a wedding. Now, where did that kid come from? Where did that kid come from? Oh, he's going underneath the pews. I don't know if you ever spent a lot of time in church, but man, it is impossible not to goof around in church. So he's going underneath, in between the aunties or the grandmas, right next to Kanye, who still hasn't looked, and he's walking up to the altar, and he blows out the candle. Okay, he's misbehaving in church. This feels to me like this has got to be Ye, right? This has got to be Ye. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. What is going on with her face? Wait, what is going on with her face? Does she have a lion face? Is that a human face? Is that AI nightmare, or is that some kind of prosthetic makeup thing? I think is that like oh my God, she's a Michael Jackson Thriller person. She's an MJTP. She's a Michael Jackson Thriller person. The thing at the end where they turn into the thing. Okay, this makes sense. But I love this too. I love this image of the kid causing trouble because, he's probably a good kid, but he's acting out because he's in church. This feels like a lot of the album, a lot of Kanye's work is like mediating his relationship with his mom and his behavior in general, and this kind of problematic behavior. I feel that. All right, let's keep going. Okay, now the spacemen have come in. And then some aliens have shown up. Okay, and now what's going on? Okay, so they're confronting. So the American astronauts are confronting. Okay, now what's been going on with the? What's been going? I'm just going to watch the nun. The nun's just holding on to a book. All right, the knight's just sitting there. MJ's just sitting there. Okay, so now they're confronting. So what's going to happen here? Well, what's going to happen to Kanye here? Are those cowboy boots? Damn, dude, man, it's always so fashion forward. Wearing a gray suit with tan cowboy boots? Oh, man. Still got it. All right, let's keep going then. What's going to happen here? What? All right. What? Okay. So that was what? So, yeah, I'm going to call that CG. I'm not going to call that AI. Who knows? Doesn't really matter in that case. So he's actually an alien underneath. He's been unmasked. Guys, ladies, NB pals, this is Men in Black. Am I wrong? Michael Jackson, the big joke in the first Men in Black movie is that Michael Jackson was a secret alien the whole time. And now we have like governmental agents showing up and unmasking Kanye as an agent. Yeah, this is just Men in Black tribute, which is great. The Men in Black movies are good. Even that most recent one wasn't bad. With Thor, it wasn't that bad. All right, so he's not moving, he's not revolting, he's just accepting his fate, he's being taken off. You know, what does the lack of struggle mean? You know, Kanye is someone who struggles against everybody. I guess he just feels as though he's been caught. I can't tell if any of this means anything except for the Michael Jackson. That might be the only thing that means anything. Okay, now a different alien comes in. Okay, he's pretty well dressed as well. Kind of the same color palette. You know, again, it's just worth mentioning every frame is a painting. So the restricted color palette is part of what's making this so unheimlich. And the fact that there's just this one person in blue in the far back, and like the skin isn't particularly green. It's a gray alien. There's tan. There's gray. It's all very low saturation color here. It's like that new Harry Potter thing. Looks great. Okay, so he takes his mask off, and that's Travis Scott, right? Yeah, that's Travis Scott. Oh, okay. So then Kanye is an alien pretending to be a person, and Travis Scott is an alien pretending to be. It's Travis Scott pretending to be an alien. I don't know if this has any meaning or if it just kind of looks cool. Hard to tell. Let's go back into the video and see what happens here. Okay, so we have two more people arriving. They appear to be two different brides. We have someone carrying a cake. I imagine. Okay, let's see what happens with the cake here. So it's a guy carrying a cake with something on the top. Okay, and he's tripped, except he's not actually tripped. Okay, so focus on the foot. He's not actually tripped. So the question is this kid being bad? Like, is this badly made? And the person pretended to trip and it was supposed to look more real? Or is this intentional? I think it's intentional to just make it feel more uncanny. Dropping the cake. I don't know if this is a relation to the old racist slang about saying about a cakewalk as something being easy that's actually tied into certain kinds of dances that enslaved people were forced to do if they worked in the kitchen by the slave masters. I don't think that's what it is, but there is something about like carrying cakes that does tie into, that does at least evoke that. And especially like the idea of maintaining the cake and not dropping the cake. But that's just a stretch. That's just kind of throwing things out there. That's just kind of free associating. But I do like this image because it goes back to this image of the young Kanye, because I feel like there's two Kanyes in this. There's the kid and there's Michael Jackson. And we see he's just intentionally being a little scamp, but he doesn't actually do it. And then the same time that this happens, outside we have... So the same moment this happens, we have these birds popping up outside, and we have someone throwing the hands, and we have the clapping on the other side, and we have the dove and the realization. It appears as though he might be getting married, and the cake is actually just fine, and the baker's there, and then they leave, and now everybody's leaving. Where's everyone going? Okay, they're all going. Here they go. Even Michael's leaving. Then we have the cross coming in. Wait, where does she... Okay, so she was the other person who was with the magic man. And the spaceship is left, is taken away. And we got kind of Jesus in there. And we got some other guy. Okay. All right, Father. All right. Let's see. Directed by Bianca Censori. So what's going on at the ending here? It's just kind of an ending of everything. So I guess we have to just focus on who is left in the church. Who is left in the church? Okay, they're now clapping off. Yeah, I know it's available, dude. They're now clapping a little bit off beat. We have the magician's girlfriend or wife left. We have the person who's been bearing the cross the whole time. He's arriving to sit down. He's sort of dressed in an inverse of what Kanye was wearing, and we still have that person in the back. The person in the back in blue, which we don't even know if it's a person or if it's a sculpture, and we have the dancers. So let's see what that looks like compared to the beginning. The beginning, we had many more people, a lot more action happening, and we had this Michael Jackson just staring right down at us. So what's my final conclusion on this video now that I've watched it with you? is good. I don't know what it has to do with the song. The song itself I like a lot, but it doesn't say much. The sample is great, you know, the sample from the same guy from Follow God, you know, what's your life like, right? But like it's not saying much except for the Michael Jackson thing. And the Michael Jackson thing is the most important thing. And I think as time goes on, the comparison between Michael Jackson and Kanye will just get stronger and stronger as we sort of try to process and deal with this amazing genius and then these, you know, Michael Jackson's case, very credible claims of grievous abuse, and in Kanye West's case, very plain to see, nothing hidden about it, examples of white supremacy, anti-Semitism, anti-blackness, misogyny, sexism, all that stuff, right? So I really like that parallel. I think it is largely AI, but much like the album itself, the way that it's AI, I think it's okay because it is going for that. It is going to make you uncomfortable. It is trying to make you uncomfortable. It is not trying to tell us a very simple, straightforward story. It is what AI is, which is a series of tableaus, a series of vignettes, of little images of things put together. You can't do it longer than 8 seconds because, I don't know, the technology doesn't work. There can't be that much continuity. And then the fact that they mix it in with real stuff just makes it more uncanny because, like, there's things that feel real at the same time. I might just delete this whole damn video. I don't know if it's any good. You tell me in the comments. Say was this clever or no? Check out tomorrow. I'm going to be reviewing my favorite pop star, Lauren Auder, Auder. She released a great album. I'll be moving on to that. All right. Until next time, where's the camera? Oh, one more second. Actually, I have one more point. I figured it out. I was like, what does this remind me of? This reminds me of the best video of all time. I'm sorry, Beyonce fans. Single Ladies is a great song, great video. Okay, much better. Don't come up here, Kanye. Let me finish. But in my opinion, the best video of all time is to the song "Around the World" by Daft Punk, directed by Michel Gondry. And I'm now realizing it has a lot of similarities. So I'm going to share that with you, and just maybe you see my point. Okay, let's see here. All right. So it's a single space. There's not a lot of interaction with the camera, right? It's a series of vignettes and kind of otherworldly, unexpected imagery. Now, this happens to be ridiculously well choreographed, whereas the Ye video is just kind of loosely choreographed. And then we have these alien figures, and we have these spacemen figures showing up. You know, it kind of has that same feeling, the weird sort of church play, single stage feeling. Now, of course, the Father video is not nearly close to the level of precision and beauty of this. But I think you could make an argument that they're kind of in a similar vein, in a similar kind of space. So that was an idea. There, I had an idea. How long is this video? I don't know. But there's the camera.